beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy. Thank you for joining me for our live tarot session on today, August 26th. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let's give a shout out to everyone here in the chat. Good to see you, Taz. Good evening, Nikosmas. Much love, D-Love. Good to see you, Leslie Cellini. Good to see you, Kit Kat. Good to see you, Mukio. Much love. Glad you're all here with me. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So let's start by talking a little bit about today's astrology. So our moon has now moved into Gemini. Beautiful energy, moon in Gemini. Hi, Christy. Good to see you, Gandhi. Much love. And the moon in Gemini is such fun, playful energy. Our emotions are going to be sporadic and spontaneous, and we're going to be driven by those intellectual pursuits. We're going to be driven to be fun and to be in that playful mode of exploration and discovery, right? Of taking in multiple perspectives. And with this Sun in Virgo, that deep analytical organizational energy that prepares for the harvest, we have this amazing ability right now. We can be in this fun moment while still getting stuff done. Well, there could also be a bit of a struggle here, between that Virgo and that Gemini. Depends on how it flows with you. So be mindful and be aware. All right, let's talk a little bit about today's title. So when I was meditating this morning and thinking about what I was going to title this, I saw this beautiful painting of these nymphs dancing. And I thought it was just really striking. And it immediately made me think about the muses and art. And I just thought of this idea about having to harmonize with that universal rhythm, learning to connect to the great goddess through that flow, right? Anytime we see the followers of Dionysus, whether they're the Maenads or the Koyabantes or the Galloi or what have you, they're always dancing. There's always drums involved. Dionysus is usually playing some kind of instrument, or he's leading the chorus with his thyrsus spear while the rest of everyone dances, And this idea of just learning to harmonize and to flow and to create is just a really beautiful idea. And it's about accepting our fates in some ways, and learning to adapt to the changing in our fate, but also learning to assert ourselves. There's like that balance in that flow, right? Harmonizing and learning to play within that harmony, right? Beautiful. And I wanted to read to you guys this amazing poem by William Butler Yeats. It's called "To a Child Dancing Upon the Shore." Dance there upon the shore. What need have you to care for wind or water's roar, and tumble out your hair, that the salt drops have wet? Being young, you have not known the fool's triumph, nor yet love lost as soon as won, and he the best warrior dead, and all the sheaves to bind. What need that you should dread the monstrous crying of wind? There's power in that innocence. At the same time, right? That innocence allows us to just throw ourselves into that creation and to be in that free flow. And to be able to channel that energy when we can is really powerful and really potent. And it's necessary in life to be able to move, to have fun, to dance, and to continue in that generation. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so let's begin our reading today with our Ganapati Oracle. All right. Lord Ganesha Ganapati is that divine child, the Lord of beginnings, guardian of the threshold, Lord of the Ganas. Inspire us and help our voice get heard to those who need to hear it. What is the message, Lord Ganapati? Okay. Relaxation. Beautiful. Wow. Relaxation. Now's the time to really embrace this lunar energy of that Gemini, that playful, fun energy too, but in this mode of reclining, right? To reflect upon that light of the moon, to take in all this information, to be in that mode of just relaxing and taking things easy. If we've been stressing out and we've been dealing with a lot of change and transformation, now's the time for relaxation, right? Those of us who have had to deal with and accept fate, who are going through big changes, now's that moment of pause, right? Now's that moment of catching our breath and taking the time to do what's necessary, right? In that slow, relaxed way. Beautiful energy. Beautiful. All right. We're now going to do our sortes. For those of you unaware, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature. And it comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition, where we ask the goddesses of inspiration, the muses, and we ask them to inspire us, to guide our hand, and to send us a message through the text. So today we're going to begin with my dear friend Graham's Shape of My Will. All right, muses, what is the message from Graham? Inspire us this evening. Today I feel I'm not real, just a bad dream that people are tired of having and would be better off waking up from. Wow. Today I feel I'm not real, just a bad dream that people are tired of having and would be better off waking up from. Oof. A dark moment, but also an intense moment. This idea between the dream and reality, and that people can just forget you or wake up from you like a dream, you know. But the real is far more tangible. It must be confronted, you know. When we're in these moments of detachment, when we feel that separation from self, when we are disconnected, that's the time when we nearly need to be in that mode of relaxation, when we need to be in the self and in the body. You know, sitting in meditation I find to be really helpful. But doing something that puts us back into that flow, even if it's a form of exercise, you know, but something that really connects you to the ground, to the earth, and to the self. And I think that's the message here, you know, is that we need that relaxation time and that time to be in the body so that we can maintain that connection, you know, so that we do not suffer from that separation, you know. Beautiful. All right, let's continue. We're now going to go to the Psychic Bible by Genesis Peorage and the Temple of Psychic Youth. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Genesis Peorage? It is impossible to say how important it was to feel okay, instead of how it was at school, where I was like a target, defined as stupid and beaten like I was subhuman. It is impossible to say how important it was to feel okay, instead of how it was at school, where I was like a target, defined as stupid and beaten like I was subhuman. I relate to this more than I can ever express. That's scary. And it's very true. It's very true. Wow. It's so important that we're able to feel okay and that we can feel respect, that we can feel safe and secure within ourselves. If you lack that sense of security or respect, if you feel like you're in that constant state of jeopardy, if you have no sense of okay, you can't function, you know? And it brings out the worst in people. And you're willing to do anything to overcome that, you know? And we have to think on this and what these kind of things do to people when you single people out and you bully them, right? When they're targeted and defined as stupid and treated as subhuman. When you create those hierarchies, right? Oof. We all need to feel okay, just to be able to feel like no one is just secretly judging or hating us or that going to come up and attack us, right? Oof, oof. That's all we can truly ask, right? Wild. All right, let's continue. Book of Thoth by Aleister Crowley. Muses guide my hand. What is the message from Book of Thoth? Inspire us this evening. The symbol represents 5 discs in the form of the inverted pentagram, instability in the very foundations of matter. The symbol represents 5 discs in the form of the inverted pentagram, instability in the very foundations of matter. Wow, right? The 5 of discs, worry. And it's recognizing that there is this instability in that foundation, that it's not a solid foundation. And as you expand upon that 4, is that tower going to be able to grow or will it topple? Wow. 5 of discs, that worry energy, you know? Incredible. And scary, something that we have to confront and learn to deal with, right? Instability in the very foundation. How do you deal with instability in your foundation? You have to change your foundational structure, right? You have to begin solidly and on solid ground. You have to think about what that means, you know? How do you go about creating a truly solid structure? Worry is usually built from past failures. You know, now is the time to think upon those past failures, right? Why did you potentially not succeed? And if you do not have particular past failures, recognize that it's always disciplined action, organization, and planning that sees something to completion. Especially now under this Virgo energy, this energy of that analytical organizer, right? The one who prepares for that harvest, the one who has that strength to perfect herself and through her self-power alone ascend to the stars, right? So this is that self-refining principle, that hard energy, right? Let's continue. We're now going to go to Edgar Allan Poe. Muses guide my hand. What is the message from Poe? Inspire us. I repeat then that I speak of these things only as of coincidences. And further, in what I relate, it will be seen that between the fate of the unhappy Mary Cecilia Rogers, so far as that his fate is known, and the fate of one Mary Rogette up to a certain epoch in her history, there has existed a parallel and contemplation of whose wonderful exactitude the reasons becomes embarrassed. Wow. I repeat then that I speak of these things only as of coincidences, right? And further in what I relate, it will be seen that between the fate of the unhappy Mary Cecilia Rogers, so far as that fate is known, and the fate of one Mary Rogette, up to a certain epoch in her history, there has existed a parallel in the contemplation of whose wonderful exactitude the reason becomes embarrassed. And so the cycles repeat. And so the cycles repeat across generations, across lifetimes, and people suffer the same fates. Is it merely coincidence? That's what Poe would say. Interesting. All right. Let us go to Goethe Faust. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Goethe's Faust? Inspire us. And this despite my devotion on my part and all of my drudgery by day and night. And this despite devotion on my part and all my drudgery by day and night. Oof. Wow. This is recognizing, right? Those self prisons that we place upon us, often morality and holding yourself to these higher standards of perfection. You know, all it does is it leads you to a life of drudgery, right? And what does this devotion get you in many instances, right? You really need to think upon these things and not allow yourself to be held to some moral standard of some ancient religious text that has nothing to do with the present. You know, define these things for yourself and use your reason and define yourself by your own standard. Wow. Don't subject yourself to drudgery or devotion, right? Wow. Interesting. All right, let's continue. The Divine Comedy by Dante. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message by Dante? Inspire us this evening. Whoever does not grow wings to fly there may as well expect to have news from the dumb. Whoever does not grow wings to fly there may as well expect to have news from the dumb. Wow. This really is reminiscent to the other day's sortes. This image of the birds keeps coming up again and again with Hecate and with Aphrodite, and this idea that to pass through the gate, even with Hermes, that you have to be that bird. You have to learn to fly, right? And to expect news from that world beyond, that ionic life from anyone when you haven't been there yourself, is to be receiving bullshit. Right? May as well expect to have news from the dumb. You have to go there and experience it, right? This is one of the true things with the mysteries that a lot of people have trouble with and get frustrated upon. You know, they are confronted with these conundrums and these moral paradoxes or philosophical paradoxes. And they're going, what is the point of this? I don't understand. And it's because there is something for you to understand. There is a riddle, there is an equation, something beyond rational thinking, yet that requires rational thinking. It's this paradox. And once you can crack the riddle and overcome it, then you can see the true image, you know? It's this constant thing that we're being confronted with. You have to figure out how to fly. You have to see the world for what it is, you know? Oof. And recognize that you have to go there on your own and stop listening to what other people tell you. Do it yourself or don't do it at all. All right, let's continue. We're going to now go to the poems of W.B. Yeats. All right, Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Yeats? Inspire us this evening. My husband has fought with strong men in armor. He had a quarrel with cats, it is certain. He'd war with none but the stout and heavy with good claws on them. What glory in warring with hollow shadows that helplessly mew. My husband has fought with strong men in armor. He had a quarrel with cats, it is certain. He'd war with none but the stout and heavy with good claws on them. That what glory in warring with hollow shadows that helplessly mew. Quarreling with big cats. Oh my gosh. I immediately think of the Great Mother and her massive cats, right? She's always got two cats on her, you know? Or even that Minoan snake priestess, right? She has the cat on her head. One of my favorites. Um, Interesting. My husband has fought with strong men in armor. He had a quarrel with cats. Interesting. I think here the message is that the quarrel has to be one where there is glory to be won, where there is a war, there's something worth fighting for. You know, it's either a competition or it's something, right? With hollow shadows that help. What glory in warring with hollow shadows that helplessly mew? You know, you have to fight with strong men in armor. War with none but the stout and heavy, right? War with none but the stout and heavy. Interesting. Interesting. Let us continue. We're now going to go to Ore by Gabriel Macari. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Ore? Inspire us. Aware that his senses constantly deceive him, that he invents elaborate instruments to correct them, and he is further aware that the universe which he can directly perceive through senses is the minutest fraction of the universe which he knows indirectly. There is therefore no a priori reason for rejecting anything on the ground that it is not directly perceived by the senses. Oh, interesting. Aware that his senses constantly deceive him, that he invents elaborate instruments to correct them, and he is further aware that the universe, which he can directly perceive through sense, is the minutest fraction of the universe which he only knows indirectly. There is therefore no a priori reason for rejecting anything on the ground that it is not directly perceived by the senses. Right? You can't trust your senses. You know, the true reality of the universe only exists in the multiplicity of perspective. And as we can see here, that we can only extend our perspective either through the use of tools or collaboration, right? And often the use of tools means the use of collaboration, right? And it's through that coming together and seeing things from multiple perspectives that we get a clearer view, but it is still never ever, it's still just a fraction of a fraction, right? And we have to recognize our own limitations and exist in hubris. This is why we should always try to practice a certain form of, you know, healthy skepticism on either side, you know, but also be receptive. You have to be in that middle flow, right? Learn to just, what you perceive, you may be subject to falsehoods, right? Don't just absolutely trust your senses, you know, or trust the senses of others. The universe is absurd, right? The universe is absurd. And we have to confront that absurdity. All right, let's continue. Arcana Mundi. All right, Muses. What is the message from Arcana Mundi? Inspire us this evening. Something monstrous is happening within, something comparable to the 10 years of the Trojan War. What is this? Rise, my soul, and take the prize of your madness. We, the conquered Trojans, are now victorious. All is well. Troy has risen again. When you fall, Father, you dragged Mycenae with you. Your conqueror turns to flight. Never before has the ecstasy of my prophetic mind given me such a clear vision. I see it. I am in the midst of it and am enjoying it. No blurred picture deceives my sight. Let us look. Oh, wow. This is Cassandra, and this is from Seneca's Agamemnon. Oh, wow. And as we know, Cassandra prophesied the fall of the Trojan War. But it doesn't end there in this version. Something monstrous is happening within, something comparable to the 10 years of the Trojan War. Ah, what is this? Rise, my soul, and take the prize of your madness. We, the conquered Trojans, are now victorious. All is well. Troy has risen again. When you fell, father, you dragged Mycenae with you. Your conqueror turns to flight. Never before has the ecstasy of my prophetic mind given me such a clear vision. I see it. I am in the midst of it, am enjoying it. No blurred picture deceives my sight. Let us look. Again, we're seeing this cycle. First, she sees Troy's fall, and then she sees Troy's rebirth and refinement, right? Again, these spirals, knock it down and build it up. These ever waves, ever expanding waves. Interesting. Okay, we're now going to go to Euripides. All right, muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Euripides? Inspire us. I have fitted the fawn skin to their bodies and have put into their hands the militant thyrsus entwined with ivy. For my mother's own sisters, they at least should have known better than to say that Dionysus was no son of Zeus, that Semele had given her love to some mortal, that schooled Cadmus she was fathering on Zeus her own sinful passions. Wow. I have fitted the fawn skin to their bodies and have put into their hands the militant thyrsus entwined with ivy. For my mother's own sisters, they at least should have known better, to have said that Dionysus was no son of Zeus, that Semele had given her love to some mortal, that schooled by Cadmus she was fathering on Zeus her own sinful passion. That was why Zeus killed her, they vaunted aloud, because she had lied about her lover. Wow. Do not doubt Dionysus, right? Do not shame Dionysus and say bad things about Dionysus. That's what we're seeing here. Do not lie about my man, Dionysus. They should have at least known better than to have said that Dionysus was no son of Zeus. Now they're dead, being buried. Oof. They made up a whole false story that he was immortal. Doesn't this remind you of something that recently happened with my dear friend Gnostic Informant's YouTube channel? Maybe you should go to my friend Neil's channel and check out his most recent video on a one Dan McClellan. I think it will be really enlightening. I'll leave it at that. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message of cosmogonic Eros? All right. Inspire us this evening. Everyone cheers along, rejoices. Everyone sings and hops. Everyone skips and is happy. And there trill all skylarks. And there jump all salmon. And there chirp all crickets. And there buzz all bees. And there were all beetles. Even the mountain winds dance. Even the sounds, waves frolic. Even the fir trees bend down. Even the spruce pines bow low. Even the birches curve down. Even the willows stoop low. Even the flowers sway. Even the grasses shake. Even the reeds rustle. Yes, and even the stones will roll. Even the dunes tremble and their clack all smooth. Pebbles at the salmon catching places, at the lovely hooting coves. Sings a good rune singer. Sings an honest rune singer. Wow. So this is a bardic song that comes to us from Finland. It's called the Rune Singer. I'm going to read it for you one more time. Everyone cheers along, rejoices. Everyone sings and hops. Everyone skips and is happy. And there trill all skylarks. And there jump all salmon. And there chirp all crickets. And there buzz all bees. And there whir all beetles. Even the mountain winds dance. Even the sound waves frolic. Even the fir trees bend down. Even the spruce pines bow low. Even the birches curve down. Even the willows stoop low. Even the flowers sway, even the grasses shake, even the reeds rustle. Yes, even the stones they do roll, and even the dunes tremble, and their clack all smooth. Pebbles at the salmon catching places, at the lovely hooting coves. Sings a good rune singer, sings an honest rune singer. Beautiful. Everything dances, right? Makes me think of, oh gosh, Heraclitus. Heraclitus. And this is kind of funny because a dear friend of mine was translating a very famous saying by Heraclitus, Pantareia, it's sometimes said, but there are variations on it. And basically what we were playing around with was this idea that everything dances, nothing stays. It's not the best translation, but it was a poetic one. And it stuck with me, and it still sticks with me. Everything dances, nothing stays. All right, muses. Let's now go to The Voodoo Quantum Leap by Dr. Reginald Crosley. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Crosley? Inspire us. Liberation was needed from the vicious cycle of rebirth, death, and re-death. By that time, some non-priestly thinkers such as Jains and Buddhists fostered the abandonment of the old sacrificial tradition of the Brahmins. From the Upanishads to the Bhagavad Gita, there was evolution in the concept of reality. A new school of thought appeared that the conception of life and thought as an eternal, changeless essence. Individual life is a parcel of the Supreme Person. At death, there is a possibility of that essence going back to that Supreme Self. Beautiful. Wow. And we see that not only in the Indian and the Hindu, we see that here with the voodoo. The reason why Dr. Crosley is bringing that up is because in the next entry, he's going to compare that to his own Haitian voodoo tradition and his African voodoo tradition. And we can even compare this right to the Greek and Orphic traditions with Dionysus and Phanes and Zagreus, twice born Dionysus. You can go to Osiris. As any of you who had watched that recent meal video, check out The Golden Bough by James Frazier. There's a whole thing on dying and rising gods, right? It's beautiful. Interesting. That individual life can return back to that primal being. Love it. Okay. Well, that is it for our sortes. Before I begin my tarot proper, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make all the difference and boosts everything in the algorithm. It would really mean a lot and be a big help. It's good karma and a lovely blessing. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, please reach out to me, Snappy, ddts@gmail.com, or you can message me on the Myth and Lore Discord. I'm Snappy or Lady Snappy. And now let's use our Thoth Tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we are going to invoke that God, that incredible spirit, Saturn, Kronos, and ask them to dissect our life, to cut it up and put it on the plate, to look at our interconnections, and we ask, how best can we evolve? How do we rise above these conflicts? And how do we learn to manifest our true will? And as always, the center card is the most important. And our center card today is the Emperor. The Emperor. Intense energy, hard energy, dual energy, the masculine in its all of its forms, right? On one hand, that absolute protector and builder, and on the other hand, that selfish tyrant, right? Intense energy of control and power and authority. And it's absolute masculine, right? Aries energy, Zeus energy, right? Wow. Connected to that energy of the emperor, we are seeing this energy of the magician. What I'm seeing here is that we need to be in that authority, in that power, right? We need to ascend the throne, right? To embody that strength and to imagine and project our will into the future, right? These two energies work so well hand in hand because the emperor has the confidence and the ability to do what is the imaginative work that the magician practices, right? One half of the magician is that artistic skill, but the other is that confidence, that power. Combine these energies. Beautiful. Let's see what's on our other side. Couldn't be clearer, right? Lucifer energy, that power to ascend the mountain, right? That practical building energy, wishing what you want for and practically doing it. That goat that can climb the mountain and achieve its dreams. When we combine all this energy, we have incredible power to achieve and to manifest what we desire. The issue is, what do you desire? Remember, the devil gives you what you want. And whatever you ask for can cause all kinds of wildness, you know? Do not be greedy. Do not be bound to the material. Do not seek to possess another or to break another's will. Seek for wisdom and seek for love in a general sense, not possessive love, right? Be careful of that energy. But if you are mindful and you embody that good king, that thoughtful emperor, you have so much power to manifest here. Right, let's see where this is going. Okay. Connected to that emperor, we have that luxury. We've been seeing this energy come up a fair bit. And I still see it in the similar kind of light that this emperor needs to overcome the luxury, get out of these modes of comfort and learn to expand upon that foundation, right? This foundation is very rewarding and comforting, but it is not enough, right? There's far more pleasure and beauty on the horizon if you only go out and seek it, right? This leads to a laziness and eventually to a stagnation and to a collapse if you do not grow, right? Expand on these waters. Build with this powerful energy. Take this luxury and transform it into something, right? Let's see where this is going. Yeah, we've seen this pairing. We've seen this energy even. The Prince of Wands is that immature energy, that young man who's pursuing that lustful, passionate energy, who's reckless and going out into the world, willful and full of desire. And what we're seeing here is that they're in this luxury mode where they are fulfilled and are slothful, right? It's that this is an energy that in order to truly grow and to become that emperor, which is that similar energy but refined twice over, it's about taking that power, right? Being the one who has that discipline. The difference between the emperor and the prince is only one of discipline and experience, you know? And part of it for the prince is going to be this energy of the magician, but we'll see that coming up soon. Let's see what's on the other side of this luxury. Yeah. For the prince to expand and to grow upon the luxury, they need to learn to balance themselves, right? To be in that dote and antidote, to be in this give and take so that they can be learning and expansive, right? So only a moderate adjustment is needed. This is beautiful energy, right? The luxury card is not a negative card. It's a card of comfort. It's a card of security, right? And what we're seeing here is that in order to expand upon that security, this is a guy who's going to need to take some risks, right? Lest it turn to that debaucherous energy of stagnation, right? And this is that energy, right? What I see here is like, this is that young energy of, I'm going to just play video games and rather than go out and meet someone, you know? And it's like, well, you're still having fun, but it's a different kind of engagement. You could be enjoying life far more if you got it engaged with people. You see what I mean? There's that, right? It's not negative, but it's not good either, right? Let's see. Let's continue. All right. Oh, wow. We have that wish fulfillment. Drawing down the stars, manifesting that goddess. We've seen this a couple times, right? This is about learning to embody that emperor energy, to rise and ascend that throne, to have the discipline and the strength necessary to take and ask for what you want, right? This is difficult energy. It's hard energy, but it is powerful energy and it is necessary. We all need to take authority in our life. We all need to recognize that at the end of the day, you have to do for yourself. And I don't mean this in a negative way or a selfish way that you shouldn't love other people, but I just mean it in a practical sense. You have to be able to take care of yourself. You have to be that force that can say, I want. This is not a horrible thing if it is directed in a right way. You can want beautiful things, right? You can want what's good for everyone. But wanting and pursuing it is what's necessary. Pursuing the good. Don't allow yourself to be in that stagnation, afraid to act, afraid to take the authority, right? The emperor is the one who has the audacity to try, who has the strength and conviction to say, I can do, and inspire those to do with. That's powerful energy. And that's what is being called here. You got to be that force who can rise on that throne and call out to that great goddess and say, this is my dream. This is what I need. Can you help me? Intense energy. And there's a reason partially why we're not asking for this is because we're comfortable, right? Or we're afraid. We're afraid to expand out of this comfort because this is the security blanket, And we're afraid to be in this authority. This is a hard energy for many people, because we have been taught so much to rely on others, because to embody this energy is to be egoic or to be selfish. But it's not. It doesn't have to be. It's about how you utilize your reason, Is the father who protects their family selfish, right? Be reasonable. But we have been told to vilify these energies too, because there is danger here. There is danger here. But it's also about control. They don't want us to ascend the throne and to call down this power to ourselves and to project our will, to think for yourself and to do for yourself. And that's what you need to do if you want anything. What do you want? Imagine something beautiful. Imagine something helpful for the world, Okay. This is beautiful. What are we manifesting? What are we connecting to with that star? We are manifesting the foundation. We are building that tower. We are building our power base. We are connecting to that family, and we are creating something true, right? What does the emperor do? The emperor builds the tower, right? They gather the forces. They gather the people, right? They're that inspiring center that gets this kind of stuff done, Make work projects don't just happen. You need someone to get people to make work. Yeah. Do you have the strength to build upon your success? Do you have the strength to persevere in this image, in this desire, to call down, to build it into the physical, to create that tower, to build that foundation, right? To become that authority in your own life, right? To take charge, to take control, to say, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. It's a really beautiful energy when you do it with reason and with kindness. You can manifest this. The magician, it's all about your imagination. How do you envision it? Right? How do you envision it? All right, let's now flip our camera and take a look at our full Saturn square. And of course, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, you can message me, snappydts@gmail.com, or you can find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. So let's start here. So we have that magician and that prince. So already this prince is trying to manifest this power. They're trying to manifest this foundation, right? They're actively doing this work. They're just also, maybe they could do a little more, right? They're in this luxury mode, right? This requires some kind of balance here, rather than in this overindulgence. This is about learning to rein this energy in and to focus it on that magician and on that foundation, right? About taking responsibility and becoming that disciplined actor, right? Evolving the prince into the knight. And the key to this is to build upon this luxury, because that luxury can allow for debauchery. It can allow for laziness. It can allow for one to take their time. But if you want to manifest this power, if you want this dream, you're going to have to do the balanced work. You're going to have to imagine and go this way. The prince has to evolve, has to become that emperor, right? Let's see where this is going. Okay, so we have that emperor energy here in their center. Right? And this is what it is. In order to build upon this luxury, upon all this love that we've already manifested upon this foundation, we need to take this authority, and we need to go out and be sure and say, this is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I envision, right? And you have to have the strength to stand before the Great Mother and tell her. And that's beautiful, Ask for love, ask for wisdom, ask to flow. The key to rising the mountain, to embodying this Luciferian energy, is just to make these small personal adjustments and have the audacity to persevere, to continue on this path, right? All we are doing is adjusting and growing, evolving. This is about becoming that emperor, becoming fully into yourself, embodying that authority, that masculine power, wielding the skeptron, being that strong force who can build the tower. Let's look here. Yeah. How does the prince become the emperor? Through this pursuit of valor, through this pursuit of love, through this building upon their success, through this connection. Look to your love and to your passion and what drives you. Allow that flame to manifest so that you can connect with this will and have the strength to go out and pursue it. Often when you see these emperors, it's the desire that makes them an emperor, right? It's that desire that, for better or for worse, right, that causes them to have that strength to demand of the world. And that's the power and the darkness of the Emperor card. But you can wield this to your own end. You can have the reason and the magic, and you can imagine it however it's going to go. The key is just to do that, to have the strength of conviction, right? To be true to yourself and to that image, and to be careful in what you ask, to know the grammar, right? Okay, let's look here. Yeah, in order to manifest this tower, in order to connect to this foundation, you must make the adjustments necessary to move and flow and balance, and to become this emperor, to take that authority. Wow. Yeah, it's all about connecting to this masculine side. And this is very anytime we see those archetypes, the emperor or the empress, it's beautiful energy that everyone wants, and it's beautiful energy that everyone's afraid of. It's energy that we all struggle with. These intense ideals, whether good or bad or anywhere in between, it's really difficult energy. So this is something, though, that we're going to have to face, right? We have to learn to embody that energy and be that authority in our lives, right? Take that energy and manifest our will. Do what we want for ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that if you have the right frame of reference, if you go in love and peace, right? Love under will. All right, everyone. That is the message. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Go out and pursue your dreams. Be that emperor. Let's do one final sortes. Okay. We're going to go to Euripides. Muses, what is the final message for our audience tonight? Inspire us. The risk is worth venturing. If the image goes and I stay, I perish. The risk is worth venturing. If the image goes and I stay, I perish. Well, you've heard it here, my friends. Take that leap. Pursue that image. You know, if it goes and you stay, you're lost. All right, everyone. Peace and love. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I see you again tomorrow for more live tarot and sortes. Thanks again. Take care. Till next time.